Hello and welcome to today's social studies lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera. Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps and close our eyes. And when you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. And next we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And we can begin by stretching up high to the sky. High as we can. And then back down to touch your toes. Back up high one more time. And this time, can we go tippy toe high? And while we're there, let's have a wave side to side. And then back down to touch your toes once more. Stand up straight, guys. Have a shake. Arms and legs, shake it out. Shake it out. And now, hands on hips. And let's have a wiggle side to side. Stop. Another wiggle side to side. Stop. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, and stop. And then we can go round and round, round and round. Give our spines a nice stretch, round and round. And then let's go back the other way. Round the other way. Round and round. Excellent, guys. And stretch it out one more time. Arms and legs. And to finish, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So in recent social studies lessons, we've been doing work on the places and things that are all around us. Does anybody remember what those types of things are called? Natural resources is an excellent answer. Yes, we can call them natural resources, and even another term we got used to, natural environment. So let's write them phrases on the board first. Natural is N-A-T-U-R-A-L. Natural means happens already and not man-made. And resources are E-S-O-U-R-C-E-S. So all together, guys, natural resources. Yes, they're the things that we find already around us, and they help to create our environment. E-N-V-I-R-O-N-M-E-N-T. So remember, the environment is the place that we find ourselves surrounded by, and the things at that place are the resources. So all together we can say natural resources and environment. Okay, so to start the lesson, who can give me some examples of natural resources? Trees, excellent, yes. Trees is a very good example of a natural resource. So trees, let's see, T-R-E-E-S. Animals, okay, yes, we've got animals. Good answers here, guys. Animals. A-N-I-M-A-L-S. So who said grass? Down, I said grass. Okay, so far we've got grass, trees, and animals. Rivers. R-I-V-E-R-S. Prel. Crops. Yes, crops is a good one. Crops are the ways in which we grow our foods, and that is natural. So crops. Anything else? Bank one? Ocean. Brilliant. Very good. Oceans can be grouped along with rivers. Oceans. And how about with trees? What are smaller versions of trees? Plants. Excellent, guys. We've got plants too. So now somebody's already mentioned animals, but what about the animals we have at home? What do we call them? Pets, yes, like cats, dogs, and chickens. They can be our pets. And there are other types of natural resources too. Right? Oil, brilliant, Prao, well done. Because I was just about to mention there are different types of natural resources that help us to drive our vehicles or even power our homes. And one of them is oil. And another one you may have heard of, coal. Yes. So guys, that was excellent. Some brilliant examples there. Let's go through them. We've got grass, crops, trees, plants, rivers, oceans, animals, pets, oil, and coal. These are all examples of natural resources we find in our environment. Guys, that was brilliant. Very well done. So what we've got here are our natural resources. Now, do we think these natural resources have to be protected? Do we have to take good care of our natural resources? Yes, we do. All of our natural resources we have to protect and take care of. So what we're going to be learning today, we're going to be learning a new word. And it's a word we use for natural resources. It means to take care or to protect. Has anybody ever heard the word conservation? Conservation, have you heard before? Quite a long word. Conserve is another word for protect. So when we talk about conservation, it's spelled C-O-N-S-E-R-V-A-T-I-O-N. S-E-R-V-A-T-I-O-N. So all together, guys, conservation. Yes, and there are 5 different types of conservation that we're going to learn about in today's lesson. Now, you may have noticed, as you were telling me your great answers, I'm putting them into order. For example, grass and crops, that is known as soil conservation. Okay, when we protect the grass and the crops, that's soil conservation. But then, when we move on to trees and plants, it's not soil conservation, it's known as forest conservation. How about rivers and oceans? Water. Yes, Pakbung, I heard you say before. Water conservation. And animals and pets? Wildlife. Yes, they're in the wild and they're alive, so we call them wildlife. And finally, natural resources such as oil and coal are what we call minerals. So minerals conservation. So notice how the different types of natural resources we can sort into different categories and how we protect them through conservation. So let's say the 5 categories together, guys. Soil conservation, forest conservation, water conservation, wildlife conservation, and finally, minerals conservation. The different ways we can take care of these natural resources. And what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation for our students to observe, listen to, and also practice speaking of the 5 different ways we can conserve our natural resources. So let's turn to have a look at the TV screen, please, guys. So let's take a look at today's PowerPoint presentation, Conservation of Natural Environment. Yeah. So get used to that word, guys, conservation. It basically means to take good care of. So if we take good care of something, we're conserving it. And it's what we need to do with the natural resources we find and the natural environment. Conservation of the environment requires the use of environmental friendly methods. Now, some of these terms you've already used before, and you use them in your daily lives. Reuse, reduce, recycle, respond. Things we use with like plastic bottles or litter, you know, when we have to reuse or recycle. So already you're learning how to conserve the environment yourselves. But now we can learn further about natural resources. The first type we're looking at, soil conservation, which, as we learned before, involves crops and grass. Soil conservation means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances. Yes, we don't want to be putting anything on our crops or our grass that's harmful. Toxic is another word for harmful and dangerous, and we want to avoid that. Growing different types of crops alternately will preserve minerals in the soil. So what that means is we don't always grow the same thing over and over again. If we've got a field, sometimes grow rice, then maybe next crop use bananas, and keep changing, because that way the soil stays fresher. And that's an example of soil conservation. Next one, forest conservation. And what can you see in the picture? Trees. Always trees in the forest. Replant trees that have been cut down. So the size of the forest can be maintained. Yes. Remember, in previous lessons, you learned the term deforestation. Remember, deforestation means to cut down all of the trees. But forest conservation means if we cut some down, replant them. Encourage the public to explore forests and plant more trees and flowers. And you can see here, some members of the public have visited. Have you ever heard of any national parks in Thailand? There's lots of national parks that you can visit that have forests. And you can go there to plant your own trees and your own plants. Our next type of conservation, water conservation. We should not dump garbage or waste materials into water resources. Remember the previous lesson when we seen the river and the stream and it was very dirty with all the waste. We want to avoid that through water conservation. Only use water when we need it, and turn off taps when we don't need water. Yes, only have taps running when we actually need to use the water. And when we finish using the water, turn them off. That's what we mean by water conservation. Next, wildlife conservation. What can you see in the picture? Does anybody know this animal? Not the human. There's a human, there's a man. Do you know the animal that he's with? A rhino or a rhinoceros. You can tell the rhino because it has a big horn on its head. Rhinos are an endangered species. There's only a few dozen left, so they need to be protected and conserved. Do not hunt wild animals, and do not buy or sell wild animals or their body parts. Yes, what animal can you see in the picture? A tiger. So does the tiger look nice? Beautiful animal, yes. But this is what some people want to do with the tiger. Now, look at the tiger skins. All of the tigers that have been killed just so that people can use their fur. Enforce laws to penalize those involved in poaching the wildlife trade. The people who do this to tigers and other animals are very bad people, and they should be met with stiff penalties if they're caught doing this, because it's very cruel. And the final type of conservation, mineral conservation, which means all the things that are found inside the Earth's core. Use mineral resources optimally in order to minimize wastage. Find substitutes for minerals such as biofuels rather than coal or petrol. And what that means, biofuels, is that we can use other different types of fuels to run our cars and our vehicles that are better for the environment. Instead of using natural resources like coal and petrol, we can now use biofuels, and they're a lot cleaner and better for the environment. And that's the 5 different ways that we can conserve the environment, guys. Any questions? That was brilliant, well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation so that they can learn about the different types of conservation that go towards protecting the natural resources and natural environment. And coming up, we've got a flashcards exercise for our students to practice speaking and sorting them into sentences. But before then, guys, time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we can begin with some rotations. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent, guys. And now, let's do some stretches. Let's do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can do 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Now have a shake. Arms and legs, shake it out. Shake it out. And now we can take our right hand and find our left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And then one more shake, guys. Arms and legs, shake it out. And to finish, we will do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So now we've got a flashcards exercise for our students to practice forming and speaking sentences regarding conservation. So let's write that word on the board first. Conservation again, guys. C-O-N-S-E-R-V-A-T-I-O-N. Brilliant. And all together, conservation. So remember, the word conservation means to protect or take good care of. And today we're learning about conservation of natural resources. So for teachers, for this activity, what you'll need to do is to print off 2 sets of flashcards. The first set, we're going to have our students practice speaking, and then we'll place them along the board. The second set of flashcards, cut each of the sentences into individual words, and then we'll give our students them in teams to sort into sentences and practice speaking together. So first of all, the first set of flashcards, guys. So let's see about water. Conservation means turning off taps when we don't need water. Yes, we don't just leave the taps running, we need to save water by turning off the taps. Then our next one is mineral conservation. Means using substitutes like biofuels rather than coal. Biofuel is a more environmentally friendly fuel that we can use in vehicles. It's cleaner and better for the environment. Our next sentence, forest conservation means people explore forests and plant more trees. Yes, go to explore the forest means go to visit. Take time to visit your local forests and plant trees and take care of the flowers. Our next type of conservation, soil conservation, means avoiding use of chemicals, fertilizers, and toxic substances. Yes, some farmers will put substances on their crops and on their fields, and it's not healthy. So we need to avoid using them types of substances. And the final type of conservation, wildlife conservation, means do not sell wild animals or body parts. Like we see in the picture of the tiger in the PowerPoint presentation, and then the tiger skin. Someone's killed all them tigers just so that they can have the skin and the fur, and that's not nice at all. So what we've got now are our 5 sentences. We need to put our students into teams. So Bangpon and Lakgao, team 1. Preo and Down, team 2. Chu and Nadia, team 3. Pat, Pakung and Net, team 4. And what we're going to do is give each team a set of flashcards of the sentences on the board. They have to work together to put them in the correct order. And when they're ready, they can practice speaking. When all students are finished, we can move the sentences to the left. So each team gets to practice speaking each sentence. So time for your sentences, guys. So team 1, this one's for you to begin with. You're welcome, but not yet, guys. And team 2, you're welcome. Team 3, here's your sentence to start with. Team 4. Okay, so all of your sentences are on the board. You have to work together to put them in the correct order. And when you're ready, let me know and we'll speak together. Team 1 ready? Team 2? Team 3? Team 4? Go. So you can see the first 2 words are all the conservation. Water, mineral, forest, soil, wildlife, conservation. So find out which one you've got. Well done. So brilliant. Wildlife conservation means do not sell wild animals or body parts. Brilliant, guys. Very well done. Soil conservation means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances. Brilliant, guys. Well spoken. Forest conservation means people explore forests and plant more trees. Brilliant, guys. Well done. And team 3, water conservation means turning off taps when we don't need water. Brilliant, guys. Very well done. So, guys, that was excellent. What you can do now, collect your flashcards, pass them to the team to your left, and then we'll do a next round. So teachers, you can see the activity we're doing in our classroom now. You can pause the video, do the same activity with your own students. And remember, at the end of each round, have the students swap the flashcards so they get to play a game next. Team 1 ready? Ready. Team 2 ready? Team 3 ready? Team 4? Ready. 3, 2, 1, go! So a different sentence this time, guys, be a different conservation. Forest conservation means people explore forests and plant more trees. Excellent. Soil conservation means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances. Brilliant, guys. Water conservation means turning off taps when we don't need them. Excellent, guys. Well spoken. And team 2. Wildlife conservation means do not sell wild animals or body parts. Yes, wild animals are for living. Brilliant, guys. Very well done. Everybody's doing a great job. So once again, pass your flashcards to the left. You're welcome. So team 4 ready? Team 1 ready? Team 2 ready? Team 3 ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So what type of conservation's next? Water conservation means turning off taps when we don't need water. Brilliant, guys. Well done. Forest conservation means people explore forests and plant more trees. Brilliant, guys. Very well done. Team 3. Wildlife conservation means do not sell wild animals or body parts. Brilliant. Well done, guys. And team number 4, soil conservation means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances. Excellent, guys. Very well spoken. Okay, now get ready for our final round. We'll do one more round together. So Pak Bung, I'll take your flashcards, pass them to team 1. Thank you very much. Team 1, here's for you. You're welcome. Team 2 ready? Team 3 ready? Team 4 ready? Team 1 ready? Go. Brilliant, guys. Soil conservation means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances. Okay. Water conservation means turning off taps when we don't need water. Brilliant, guys. Well done. Forest conservation means people explore forests, and plant more trees. Excellent, guys. Well spoken. And team 4, wildlife conservation means do not sell wild animals or body parts. Excellent, guys. Very well done. Give yourselves all a big round of applause, guys. That was brilliant. Welcome back to class. And now it's time for our worksheet activity. So what we want our students to do now is to demonstrate their understanding of some of the different forms of conservation. Because what we've got on our worksheet are 4 of the 5 types of conservation. What we want our students to do in the vocabulary box is to write as much as they have learned about each conservation as possible. For example, the types of things that are conserved. When we talk about soil conservation, it's grass and crops. And then, if our students need some extra help, we have some flashcards still on the board to help them with the vocabulary. And teachers, you can help them too with words or phrases. But what's the first thing we need to do, guys? Names on top. And give our students around 12 to 13 minutes for this activity and help them with anything they need. So bang on, this one's for you.
Thank you,
You're welcome. Prel for you.
Thank you.
Down for you. You're welcome. Chew for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nadia for you. You're welcome. Pat, this one's for you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Pakbun. And Net. Okay, guys, so you've got 4 of the 5 types of conservation. We're not worrying about mineral conservation so much for the worksheet exercise. But have a think, the introduction to the lesson, when we talked about the different types of natural resources. For example, wildlife, animals, tigers, lions, or pets, cats and dogs. That's what's involved in wildlife conservation. Soil conservation, grass, crops, such as rice. And if you need any extra help, you can also use the vocabulary that's on the board. But if there's any other words you need the spellings of, guys, let me know. And forest conservation is trees and plants. Water conservation, talking about oceans, rivers, all water sources, where we turn off the taps when we're not using the water. So remember, conservation is another word for protection. If we're conserving something, we're protecting it. And it's what we need to do with the natural resources and the natural environment. Soil conservation is this one. Okay? So if you need any help, guys, you can see the flashcards. The first 2 words of each flashcard is the type of conservation. So you can see in the box. So soil conservation is grass and crops. Yes, when we take care of the grass and the crops. And it means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances, things that will harm the grass and the crops. R-A-S-S. If you need any help with spelling, guys, let me know. So grass, G-R-A-S-S, crops. Wildlife is animals. And actually, wildlife, some plants, we have wild flowers too that are alive. You can use wild flowers. Forest conservation is trees and plants. Water, all water sources, rivers, oceans, Don't worry so much about mineral conservation for now. So they're examples of the types of things involved in each conservation. If we go to the forest, we see trees and plants. If we go to the zoo, we see wildlife, animals. Or if you can put some examples of the different types involved in the conservation, that would be very good. So like nets, so soil conservation, grass and crops, means avoiding use of chemical fertilizers and toxic substances. So you can use some of them facts too. It's okay. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet exercise where they had to demonstrate their understanding of the different types of conservation by writing some facts that they've learned in the spaces provided. And remember, it's okay to ask our students to ask for help too, because we can help with the spelling and the grammar. And there's also some examples on the board for them to refer to. My students here did a brilliant job, so very well done, guys. And that's all we've got time for today. So we hope that you've enjoyed the lesson and found it very interesting. And we'll see you again soon. So can we all turn to wave goodbye, guys? Bye-bye. See you again soon.